Okay, looking at this swing, not knowing what kind of shot you want to hit, but I would presume you suffer from a little bit of a left to right kind of shot with this kind of action. What we see is a massive out to in kind of path. We also see you aiming, and I don't know if this is intentional, which to me looks like you want to aim just straight at these trees. That might be functional to try and get you to carve it back to target, but let's try and get you rid of maybe the big left to right movements. And if we take you through to impact, we're going to see just prior to impact here, look where the club's approaching from. Look, this is a 2D screen. We can't measure that properly on this system, but you can see that club is coming from the right side. You are only going to swing heavily to the left with that kind of action. So we need to get your path moving a lot more to your right. Now backswing tends to move a little bit what we'd call outside. You tend to just pick the club up. I'd like to see you try and set the club behind you a little bit more. And then downswing. So we see the classic downswing where hands pull over, but more importantly that shaft. So if we follow your hand path here, let's just bring this down a few frames. So your hand path's kind of this way. But if we take that back a couple of frames, what we're going to see, shaft is parallel to almost try and get it steeper slightly than that hand path. We need that shaft flatter, so ideally we need the shaft, you need to feel that the shaft is getting much flatter than that hand plane on the downswing. Let's get out there and give you some help. So we need that club coming back on that backswing more around your body. So simple thing to do, get a cane, get one of these canes, pop it down on the floor parallel to your target line, so or where your feet will be. Take your backswing and literally work on getting the shaft of that club to be parallel to that line on the floor. Very simple to do. You're literally just picking it up out there. Now next thing I want you to do is try and flatten that downswing. So I want you to feel on the downswing that you flatten the handle before coming in to hit the ball, then rotating, so spinning the handle to hit the ball. So getting the handle to move this way to hit the ball. Easiest way to do that, well, there's no easy way to do that unfortunately, but the feeling you want to have, which is what most people have, is from the top of the backswing, feel like you drop the handle so it's almost parallel with the ground, and then throw it out to the ball. What people tend to feel when they do this is the club is kind of here and out. Exaggerate that movement for you because you are quite steep, will get you on a much better plane. So another swing sent through the app. If we play this one through, lots of athletic, good movements in here. What we do see though is quite a funky hip movement in here. So not that much stability in the lower half, certainly not as much as we'd like to see. So if we just run this one back, you're going to see instantly as the club pulls back, kind of big swaying movement with the hips. So all around here, massive move to your right, our left on the screen. Move with your pelvis area. You've got to get your knees calm, you get your hips a little bit calmer so you can get a bit more control of your backswing, which will help you get a little bit more control of your strike. Coming through to impact, athletic impact, really trying to drive through, arguably going through too much. There's no ball there, so often when people haven't got the ball this happens more. Certainly some shoes might be an idea, that's just a joke, not the best one. But backswing, definitely we need to start seeing a lot more controlled pelvis areas rather than such swaying hips. Let's give you a drill out on the range. So great drill for swaying hips. Look, get your mobile phone, make sure you've got some soft spikes on, okay? Take your stance and simply pop it under the outside of your right foot. So I'm literally just touching it with my right foot, putting next to no pressure on it. I feel all the weight really on the inside of my right foot. Now this is an exaggeration, you wouldn't want to set up with the weight that much on the inside, but it'll give you a feeling of how to make a backswing where you don't. If you were to move the hips how you want to, you're going to ruin your nice mobile phone. So get that right foot on the mobile phone, just don't put any pressure on it. Feel like, so I'm pushing my pressure on the mat, on the inside of my foot, and I can feel the phone is just touching the outside of my foot. You could even make a few backswings where you try and keep the weight on the inside of that foot and then push away from the phone. A great drill for helping you get rid of the old Elvis going on hips there. Give it a go. Just be careful with your nice posh phones. So more swings sent through the app. What we see here is a very squatted down, low posture. I mean, there's lots of good athletic moves in this swing. But look how much taller you get to the end of your swing. So you know you are too low in this one. What you do is you just don't know how to fix it. Look, we need to take this knee bend away. I want you to try and get your shoulders to fall more in front of your toes, not be leaning back so much on your heels, for you to get some more consistent striking and not have what we see here. If we take you through to just into impact here, how much taller you're getting into impact. You have to get taller if you start that low. You can't hit the ball from where you're starting. So why introduce that kind of inconsistencies in there? Just get out on the range and give you a simple posture drill to help you try and hit some better tee shots. So I did this drill in a video the other day, actually. It works really well. Just try and stand up to your club a lot more, especially with an iron. Get that club line flatter on the floor, wherever that handle is, stand up to that handle a lot more. For you, you've got your club very toe-ended up, hands low. Now you've got a driver, so the driver will always be a bit more toe-ended up. So do it with an iron, and then when you get used to your hands feeling in that higher position and used to that posture position feeling that bit taller for you, then take that over onto a driver. So put the club down, feel like it's more flat on the floor, and then just stand up to that handle. For you, it's going to feel much taller. From there, try and make a few swings. Get used to that position because it's going to feel odd, and then take that over to your longer clubs like the driver. So question here from Stephen. So Mark, how successful would you say Westwood's move to the USA has been? I think he has gone backwards. Stephen, right, interesting question. Look, I think the moral here is being a UK sportsman it's got to be one of the hardest jobs in the world, isn't it? I mean, they're just, we're talking about one of our best players, if not the best, who has made this life decision to move abroad, taking family, which you can only admire, to be honest. And all we can do is kind of put him down. We like to knock our sportsmen down. I mean, there's just a job. Look, Lee Westwood is a fantastic player. He's not won the major that people want him to win, or even he wants to win, I'm sure, but he is a fantastic UK player. I think it's such a small time since he's moved that we can even begin to monitor, and who are we also to even judge? It's him, his family, his life. I'm sure he's having fun, and he is a great player and always will be, and hopefully one day will win a major, but even if he doesn't, he's still going to be one of our best players looking back in history. So has he gone backwards? I don't think so. I don't think we've given him enough time yet. Let's give it a bit more time and see what he can pull out, because I'm pretty sure he'll be winning next year. Big tournaments, he'll be competing in big tournaments and he'll be up there. So let's hope he hasn't gone backwards with his move to America. But I also feel the question's a little bit, it's a common UK question, isn't it? We like to try and always see the negative sides in our sportsmen. Why don't we try maybe the USA approach a little bit more, where we try and big our sports people up? He's a British, English, fantastic golfer, and I for one am very proud of what he's achieved, and I'm sure he is more than proud of what he's achieved in the sport. Let's hope he achieves more from his move to the US. Post comments down below, what do you think? Backwards or forwards from his move to the US? Love to hear. Alright guys, another swing sent through the app. Well, on this one, we're seeing quite a lazy posture. So I don't mean lazy as in you're not trying. I mean lazy as in we need to get you a lot more dynamic with your posture. What in turn that will do, it will allow us to see more dynamic movement. So I want to see the shoulders falling forward of the toes and the backside not to be so far behind the heels. So we need the gap between the heels and that line here, this one on the left, and the gap between your shoulders and where this line, or your toes, sorry, and where this line drops on the right, a little bit more even. So your bum is only as far back as your heels as your shoulders are forward of your toes a bit more, just to try and get your kind of weight and pressure pushing much more down the middle of your feet, so you're a little bit more dynamic. You are very much on the heels here. Now what we see from this heel swing, which is definitely less dynamic, is we tend to see quite a collapsed backswing position where the club gets a little bit on your right shoulder, and then coming through we see the club almost resting on your left shoulder with the collapse on the way through. So hands not really getting very high on the way through at all. So we need to try and get your hands much higher. Now look, this isn't the best quality video unfortunately I've got here, but I'll just show you this one. This is a picture of me hitting a shot, and what we're going to see on the way through here, just look at the contrast in how high my hands get on the way through. So over left shoulder compared to your hands coming on the way through, which are considerably lower. And that's something you'll see with good players quite often, the high hands on the way through. So we're going to work on a bit of posture and try and give you a feeling of getting your hands over your right shoulder, over your left shoulder on the backswing and the follow through. Let's get out there. So classic posture issues, isn't it? Back on the heels, see it so often. I want you just to stand to your ball and just drop the club down from the front of your shoulders and try and get the front of your shoulders just 2 inches, say, in front of your toes. Just feel where that puts your weight, feel where that puts your pressure into the ground. You're going to find it's much more forward than where you've got it, so more move through the middle of your feet rather than back so much on the heels. Then simple drill for you. I want you to feel that you move your hands over your over your right shoulder, over your left shoulder. Don't concentrate on hitting good shots, just concentrate on getting your hands to turn over right shoulder, over left, and I mean over, so a bit of a gap. It's literally just a stretch. Now you want to try and get that stretch from here, not from here, okay? So I don't want you to feel like you're getting high hands because you're lifting your body up. You're actually getting no more stretch. So you can even do it with one hand, just your left hand, over right shoulder, over left, to get the feeling of that stretch. Get a little bit more reach out, certainly through your left arm and right arm. You're going to hit some better strikes. And from that better posture, certainly a little bit more consistent hitting. Hope that helps. So more swings coming from the apps. Now look, first thing, this is debatable, but you are not allowed to tee that ball up in front of those red stakes. There's an argument that a bit of it might be touching, but that's a bit close. But anyway, that's a different point. Look, what we see on this backswing is we see your hands, as we pull it back, if we look in this kind of area here, if you look at your hands on that club, they are not together. Your hands look to me like they are apart. Now you cannot have your hands apart on the club. The club will be very hard to control that flat face if your hands are apart like that. So watch many of the good grip videos that are on YouTube. I've done some and lots of other pros have done some. We need you getting that grip a little bit more together. Now the thing I want you to think about once you've got your grip a little bit more connected is you want to think about trying to hit the ball without leading so much with your left elbow. So your left elbow is leading that club head. I want you down by the ball to be lining up left elbow a little bit more. Club head is the feeling, certainly with a long club like this. And then in turn on the way through, as you come through, I want the club overtaking your elbow more. I don't want this kind of holding off with your elbow on the way through action. We've got to get rid of that. So grip first, and let's give you a drill to give you the feeling of letting go of this club at the bottom. Thanks for sending. Okay, so grip together, hands together. I don't care if you interlock, overlap, or even baseball, as long as those hands are together. You can't have your hands apart on the club and have much luck controlling the face. Now, simple drill for trying not to lead with left elbow. Just make your club very heavy. So to do that here, I've got two irons together. You can't hit a shot this way. Hover them above the ground, swing back, swing through. The weight of that club will allow you, and your brain will tell you, to let go of those clubs at the bottom. So let the head pass ahead of everything else. Let that weight go out in front of you until you grab hold of it again and bring it over your left shoulder. Very hard with two clubs to lead with your left elbow because it'll put so much pressure on that left elbow. So what you want to do is stretch on the way back. Don't collapse it because they're heavy. And then let those two clubs pass out in front of you on the way through, and you will hit some better shots. Two club drill helps every time with those kind of problems. Hope that helps. Thanks for sending the swing. Always love a good junior swing. Watch this swing, guys and girls. So much you can learn from this. Brilliant fluid movements in this swing from this young player. I can't give you any swing advice from the quality of the image you've sent me. All I can say is you're doing very well. What you need to think about doing is getting this guy involved in as much kind of club golf as possible, get his handicap down, get him involved with local counties so they can give him some support with tuition and tournaments. This guy's got a great swing and could be a great player. Let's just talk through some of the good key movements here. Good posture for a young man, fantastic backswing position, very textbook club face, pretty parallel to left arms as looking on the quality of this picture. Great high hands, very neat. Downswing looks like a lovely plane coming into the ball or angle. Fantastic high hands on the way through and a very athletic follow through with great kind of extensions and side bends in the back as well. Fantastic swing. Thanks for sending it. There's not much I can see from the quality of that image. But like I say, biggest advice I'd get for this guy, keep golf fun, keep him playing, get him involved with your local county, get him scoring in competitions, posting some numbers, and get him recognised if he isn't already. Post comments down below. I'd love to hear who you are or the parents of who you are. Let me know what your handicap is. Great swing. Thanks for sending. So if you like what's going on here, don't be afraid to subscribe to the channel. Also thumbs up the video, post comments. Love to hear what you guys got to say. Let's keep it social. The more we talk, the more we share, the easier this game will get for everybody. So if you want to find me on Facebook here, you can find me on Facebook. If you want to tweet me, find me on Twitter here as well. Just follow the links, all in the description. Come and join the show. Get active, get involved, get playing some better golf. Thanks for watching.